What's up everybody, my name's Big Cam and welcome back to another Comically Boston Monday morning weekly nerdy news podcast where we discuss the last week in nerdom and everything that happened and any news that came out. And I mentioned last week that I thought I met somebody and I just wanted to give you guys an update. Hoes ain't shit, so if there's any women out there, hit your boy up. Not you hoes, you guys are my hoes, you guys are the best hoes. But the other hoes ain't shit. But jumping into the weekly nerdy news, Scream 7 last Friday on Halloween dropped their Scream 7 trailer and movie poster here. In the movie poster, you can see the original Scream house and the blade burning down, and it says, "Burn it all down, Scream 7 coming February 27th, 2026, and I had just been doing my spooky season movie reviews, and I had just gotten through all of the Scream movies up to Scream 6. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll do the 6 Scream movies for Halloween, and then I'll do Scream 7 whenever that comes out. Little did I know they were going to drop the trailer the day that I finished Scream 6. So Scream 6 movie review will be coming out tomorrow, and Scream 7 trailer breakdown and reaction will be coming out Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. Something else coming out very soon, though, that I'm looking forward to is Glenn Powell and Edgar Wright's The Running Man, coming to theaters November 14th. And that looks pretty good. Lee Pace is also in there. And they had this poster, right, of him running and jumping out the, like, glass. And you could see him, like, in the stance, like he's jumping through something. And this is a Dolby Cinemas poster here. And then they just took this poster and made it so many other kinds of posters. Like, this is the same poster as this red one here, but it's a little different. But you could tell, like, they took him and put him in the middle and made a different poster. Same thing with this 4DX one. That's pretty much the same poster, same pose and everything, just a little different and all red and like shapes and stuff like that. I like that poster. And then the final Running Man poster, the IMAX poster, experience it in IMAX, Glenn Powell's The Running Man. Now, do I need to watch the original Running Man with Arnold to watch this movie? I don't think so. Will I? Maybe. You know, I think it was on Netflix the last time I checked, so maybe I'll go check that out some point today and tell you what that's like compared to the new Running Man when that comes out November 14th, which that should be coming out next week, I believe. So this week, there's a great movie coming out that I can't wait to see this Friday, so I'm definitely going to be seeing that. But maybe I'll be going to the theaters back-to-back weeks because I want to see something this week coming out the 7th, and then coming out the 14th, I want to see this as well. So maybe back-to-back weeks in the movie theaters, and I haven't been since the summer of Jurassic Park, Superman, and Fantastic Four, so I took a couple months off from the theaters. Maybe it's time to get my ass back over to the movie theaters. I have been wanting to go to the movies, and I haven't been back over there, so let me know down in the comment section below. When's the last time you went to the theaters, and is there anything coming out soon that you want to see? Another movie that looks funny, and just from the poster here, with Kevin James and Alan Rickson, Playdate is the movie, and it's coming to Amazon Prime Video November 12th. And it looks like they're like two dads and their kids are having a play date, and then Alan Rickson's character is like a spy, and Kevin James is just along for the chaos that ensues, you know? Like, I don't know what's going on here, but it looks like in the background a minivan's getting exploded, maybe a Chuck E. Cheese guy's getting exploded. I don't know, I thought I saw the trailer for that the other day, and it looked goofy, but I was like, goofy enough that I want to see it and get a chuckle out of it. But another goofy movie would be Zootopia 2, coming to theaters November 26th, and this is a Dolby poster, but instead of Dolby it says Dole Bunny. I get it, I get what you did there. Zootopia, animals, not that clever. Dolby. Now, I believe this film came out back in August, but it was a busy month for movies, so I didn't get a chance to see this in theaters, but no problem. Now, it's coming to Disney Plus November 12th for Freakier Friday to see Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis back in action. I mean, growing up with my mother and sister, we loved Freaky Friday, and we thought it was one of the funnier movies ever, and well, not ever, but you get what I mean. When I was growing up, we loved it. We were a big Lindsay Lohan household. Not necessarily Jamie Lee Curtis, but we loved her too. And, you know, the fact that they're reuniting together all these years later to do a sequel to this film, I'm sure it's okay. I haven't heard too many reviews, good or bad, you know, like, but I'm definitely going to check it out just for curiosity's sake in November when this comes out on Disney+. Now, a movie I've seen maybe 100 times, that would be Dr. Seuss's The Grinch That Stole Christmas, the live-action version with Jim Carrey as the Grinch. It is now 25 years old. So that means this movie came out in 2000, 1 year after I was born, and coming back to theaters for the 25th anniversary of The Grinch That Stole Christmas in December 12th. So I definitely have never got to see this film in theaters, but I've seen this movie so many times. Maybe I want to see it in theaters. You know, maybe it's one of those that, like, you should go see it in theaters one time just for shits and giggles, just to be like, hey, maybe you like it even more in theaters than you liked it at home. You know what I mean? Like, that montage scene of, you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Yeah, like, if he did that, or they obviously would do it, but if I saw that in theaters, I think I might love this movie all over again. But, you know, comment below if it's in a theater near you for the 25th anniversary. Would you go and check out this movie for Christmas? You know, maybe you got kids and you're bored during the holiday season. You're like me from Massachusetts, and during the winter around here, there isn't a whole lot to do, you know? Like, unless you're somebody that likes to be outside freezing your buns off. Not me, you know, like, I like to be watching movies. I like warm weather. You know, like the snow, you know, as much as I say during the summer I miss the cold, during the winter, I just want the warmth so bad, you know, like I strive near a beach, you know, jump in the ocean, sit in the sun, get hot again, jump back in the ocean, like that's the vibe. But Christmas is around the corner, we're heading into the exact opposite vibe of that, and we're going to be nice and chilly and cold and snow, and I'm sure there's places up in Canada and up north, maybe in New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, that's already snowing, and oh god, I don't want to even think about the first snowstorm yet and shoveling. Bastards, if you live in Florida or somewhere warm, I'm jealous. But on to the next movie, coming to Hulu and Disney Plus on November 20th. I still don't know what the deal is with Hulu and Disney Plus. Are they two different streaming platforms? Are they one? I think at one point they're going to merge and they'll just be one platform. But then there's like Hulu Live TV and Disney Plus that doesn't have the live TV. So like if you have Hulu and Disney Plus and they merge to one, you still need the Hulu app to get live TV, but you can see everything that's on Hulu on Disney Plus. It doesn't make a lot of sense, you know, and I'm sure there's people out there that are subscribing to both platforms, not realizing that they're pretty much the same thing nowadays, but there is some stuff that is specifically on Hulu, you know, it's stupid. Streaming is dumb, but Benedict Cumberbatch, Olivia Colman in The Roses will be coming November 20th to Hulu, and I've been wanting to see this movie. I think it's like, they're like two spies or something, and they start having like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith-esque fight. I don't know a whole lot about it, but also Kate McKinnon's in there, Andy Samberg, so it's got to be funny, but it also has to be like really good, because you don't get Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch to star in a movie like this if it's not going to be good, you know? So I definitely want to check that one out. That's one of my most anticipated movies from this year that I haven't seen yet. Now, another movie that I don't necessarily want to see because I don't know anything about it, I haven't seen the trailer or anything, and it's based on a true story from a boxer named CHRISTY. I should have probably looked up more information about this. I don't know any women boxers named CHRISTY. I don't know what this movie's about, but I do know that Sydney Sweeney apparently put on a bunch of muscle, and like, some people were like, God, she's looking ugly as hell, which I don't think is possible for Sydney Sweeney. She's a fucking bombshell. Every time I see her, I'm like, she's so beautiful. But November 7th, her movie, pretty much a biopic, I think. You know, I don't think it's like a fictionalized thing. I think it's pretty much like the true story of what happened to this lady, and she's playing a real person, which I don't know if she's done that yet, you know, and I really like to see just how much Sydney's growing as an actress, you know, like she's doing more and more crazier roles, and, you know, the more I see her, the more I'm like, yeah, she's great. I love her. Like that movie she did with Glenn Powell, Anybody But You, is a pretty sexy rom-com. She did a movie with Julianne Moore, where she wasn't in the movie a whole lot, but it was like a creepy, like psychological thrilling thing, like, and she was like a distraught, drugged out child, and then I was like, oh yeah, Sydney probably had fun with that one. You know, like, but she's also in real life like a car girl and shit, and she builds like her own Bronco and shit. Like, she's badass. If you hate on Sydney Sweeney, I don't like you. Now, a movie I definitely want to see, because I've seen the other two 3 movies? How many Now You See Me's has there been? Is this the 3rd? It might be the 4th. I think this is the 3rd, though. So I've seen the first 2 Now You See Me movies, and now the 3rd one's titled Now You See Me, and Now You Don't. And this is dropping in theaters November 14th as well, and I can't wait to see this, you know? So maybe I will be doing back-to-back weeks, and on the 14th I'll be doing a double feature, you know, and I'll be doing like The Running Man, Now You See Me double feature. That actually doesn't sound that bad of a double feature. Maybe I'll go on like Friday and Saturday. I'll go 2 different days or something. Who knows? But here's another Now You See Me poster, the Dolby Cinemas poster, and I like how the 2Ds in the Dolby are like staircases that are like endless staircases, which is like a real life magical phenomenon. Like there's like this certain way to build a staircase where like you keep going up and up and up and up and up, but you're not changing level, but it looks like you are. And it's like just the parallax of like where you are and where, like, it's so weird. Like you can look it up, like a weird parallax staircase. It looks somewhat like this, and I don't know. Magic is fascinating, but it also creeps me out. Now, a TV show, and a couple of TV shows we're about to start talking about and getting away from movies for a moment. Only Murders in the Building, a Hulu show, is heading into its 6th season, and they are heading to London for their 6th season. And Steve Martin, Martin Short, Selena Gomez, you know, the 3 of them starring in the show, and then they have so many special guests that come in. Like, I'm pretty sure Meryl Streep was in one of these seasons, and I think Meryl Streep and Martin Short are now dating, which is like, I kind of like that for each other. They probably laugh their fucking asses off all the time. You know, they're both hilarious. I mean, Martin Short's hilarious and always committed to the bit, especially if him and Steve Martin are near each other. Oh my god, it's just endless jokes. But Meryl Streep's also very funny, but also one of the best actresses ever. So like the 2 of them's just normal conversations. I would love to be a fly on the wall in a room where those 2 are just going back and forth, making each other giggle, you know what I mean? But any Only Murders in the Building fans out there, I know my mother loves this show, and she'll definitely be watching London's 6th season, so that's kind of cool. I like when shows continue on, but they like to keep it fresh, so they do change of sceneries throughout the seasons. Kind of like White Lotus, you know, the White Lotus has been in, what, Hawaii, Italy, and then Thailand, and there might have been 4 seasons, actually. Or, no, 3? I don't know. You get my point, though. White Lotus, I love when, like, things switch up the scenery to keep it fresh. A new HBO original show and series from Rachel Sennott, who I know, I think, from, like, SNL? Or something like that. I don't know. But she's like a young actress, but she's also like writing and making stuff, producing stuff. And she's got like a big young cast out in LA for her show, I Love LA. And I believe Josh Hudson's in here as well. And I have another poster here of her like sitting on a flamingo boat thing that looks like it's sinking into the water. And it says sink or swim. But this series is now streaming on HBO Max November 2nd, so this is already came out yesterday. It dropped on HBO Max, and I haven't checked it out, probably won't, but if there's any, you know, girlies out there watching Rachel Sennott's I Love LA, what's it about? Tell me if it's any good. Speaking of another show that I am not going to be watching, but is currently streaming on HBO Max, and that is It, Welcome to Derry, which I believe is a prequel to the 2 It movies, and yeah, not my vibe. I'm not into Pennywise, I'm not into clowns in general, and spooky, scary, killing children clowns definitely sounds like not my vibe. But these poor kids at top there, you know all of them about to die to this poor fucking clown in the sewers. Gross. But, you know, anybody out there watching It, Welcome to Derry, is it any good? Is it too scary for somebody like me that's a baby? But another show that just came back and is now streaming on Netflix, and this would be The Witcher Season 4, but this time without Henry Cavill as Geralt, I believe is his name, and now Liam Hemsworth is reprising or taking over the role from Henry Cavill, and that was an uproar at first. But any The Witcher fans out there that are watching this new season with Liam Hemsworth, comment below. Is he doing any good? Is it worth continuing on? You know, I was going to start The Witcher, and then I heard Henry Cavill, you know, lost the role to Liam Hemsworth here, and I was like, I don't know if I will start it now, you know? Like, I don't know if I want to watch 3 seasons, get attached to Henry Cavill in this role, and then watch Liam Hemsworth take over and he's not any good, you know? So anybody out there watching The Witcher, comment below. Is it worth it to get into it? You know, is Liam Hemsworth doing a good enough job to carry on the role from Henry Cavill? Or is it not really great and you're like, I miss Henry Cavill, you know? I'd love to know those things down in the comment section below. Tell me your thoughts on those shows or any movies we talked about. And next week, movies that are currently streaming now, I believe, or maybe out in theaters. But the movie Hedda with Tessa Thompson and director-writer Nia DaCosta, that movie's now streaming on Amazon Prime, and I'm going to check that out at some point this week. So the movie review for that should be coming out sometime next week, so stay tuned for that. Along with the movie Ballad of a Small Player, starring Colin Farrell and Tilda Swinton. And I don't know, I love Colin Farrell, and this movie seems to be weird, but also like lit and shot beautifully, and that's now streaming on Netflix. So I don't know, the amount of stuff that Colin Farrell's done in the last couple of years, it just feels like he's been keeping busy in between his work as the Penguin, you know what I mean? And maybe the Penguin got him some work, so he capitalized on it and has been working. And boy, oh boy, does this man just like captivate the screen. You know, every time he's on screen, I'm like, I just want to look at him, you know, and just see what he's up to. And I don't know what this is about. I think he's like a guy with a gambling addiction or something like that. But I am certainly here for that movie as well. So stay tuned for Ballad of a Small Player movie review, probably coming out next week as well. And then once Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, drops on Netflix, which I think is later this week, maybe this Friday, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein drops on Netflix, and I will be checking that out as soon as possible, so stay tuned for those movie reviews coming to the channel soon, as well as a movie that drops this Friday, Predator Badlands, and here's, I believe, the director Dan Trachtenberg, Elle Fanning, Deck, and his father there in the Predator outfit, and you can see just how big those Predators are, but also still a guy in the suit, you know what I mean? But Predator Badlands looks really good. I've done some trailer reactions on the channel already to that movie, and I cannot wait to do a movie review for that next week when that drops. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And Predator Badlands popcorn bucket at AMC Theaters. They have a little bit of like a alien designed cup, and the popcorn bucket is kind of like Deck's mask, and I don't know how that opens up into a popcorn bucket, but it looks pretty sick, you know. If I see it in person and it looks really cool, I might have to grab that one. I haven't gotten a popcorn bucket in a while. Ever since I missed out on that Galactus popcorn bucket, I kind of gave up on them. But there's this IMAX, The Hunt Begins in IMAX Predator Badlands poster. Early access screenings November 5th in theaters everywhere, November 7th. And you can see Deck there with the little shield, and like, I think he's got like a bow, and he's got Elle Fanning's character strapped to his back. I hope this character looks this sick when he comes out as a Hot Toys figure. Just a sneak preview if you guys are looking forward to Predator Badlands and the Hot Toys figure unboxings this weekend. Oh! This beast is going to be unboxed later this weekend. If you're a fan of Prey, the most recent live-action Predator movies, the feral Predator there will be unboxed on the channel this weekend, so stay tuned for that. Another movie coming out real soon, but also real creepy, and I believe is in cinemas now. This poster for Begonia, starring Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, from director Yorgos Lanthimos. He is a weird guy, but I love him. You know, he's eccentric, and he's like just willing to do what he feels, and I don't know, something about that I truly love. And this movie looks so weird, but also like I can't not think about it and like why I want to see it, you know, and I'm curious. The more and more previews I see, I'm like, huh, I gotta see how this ends. And apparently I wasn't the only one that thought this, because the Rotten Tomato score is currently sitting at 89% certified fresh with 148 critics reviews and 82% audience score with over 100 reviews. And this is an almost 2-hour movie mystery thriller, and I think like Jesse Plemons' character thinks she's like an alien, and then like the chaos ensues from there, and she shaves her head for this movie. Like, Emma Stone's a beast, but I don't know, comment below. The last movie that Yorgos did, Kinds of Kindness, I wasn't really into, but this one looks maybe a little bit more interesting, maybe a little bit more like Poor Things, where like it's a good movie and it's weird, but it's good still, you know? Like, I don't know. Comment below if you've seen Begonia or if you want to see Begonia. But just heading into the final topics of today, Star Wars Visions just dropped on Disney Plus recently, their 3rd season, and I haven't watched all of the episodes of the 3rd season yet, but I did watch the very first episode, and it is really good, just like Star Wars Visions Season 1, Episode 1, The Duel, and oh, what an incredible episode and like story, and I'm so glad that they continued on The Duel into a part 2 in season 3 here. But the Rotten Tomatoes score for Star Wars Visions is currently sitting at 100% critic score with 14 critic reviews, and that was their debut score. I'm sure it's changed now, but debuted with 100% Rotten Tomatoes score for an anime Star Wars project. I'm sure there's anime people out there that absolutely love this shit, which is shocking to me because my roommate is a huge anime guy, claims to also be a Star Wars guy. Oh, I love Star Wars, I love anime. There's now a Star Wars anime project out, 3 seasons of it, and he hasn't seen a single fucking episode of it, I guarantee. So are you a fan of anime and Star Wars? Are you? I don't think so. I think he's a fake fan of Star Wars, and he's just a fan of anime. And yes, I know I said it like that. Fuck him. But Star Wars Visions Season 3, or Volume 3, you know, and hopefully they do more. But the first poster I have here for the Duel Payback, like the second version of the Duel episode, which is like the follow-up from the Duel Season 1, Episode 1 episode. And this guy on the right here, this like Sith hunting down other Sith, is an absolute legend, and his droid is a legend. And like I said when Season 1 of Star Wars Visions came out, this Duel episode, I wanted to see a whole movie of just this guy's story, what he's about. There's another episode, I think it's Season 1, called The Elder, that was also really good. But I'm glad they did a follow-up episode to this for Season 3, but I am fascinated to, even now, to see more of it, you know, and like I want to know more of his story and like what makes him like this Ronin samurai Sith, you know, and like how did he end up a Sith and how did he end up now against the Sith but still wields the red lightsaber, you know? It's like, fascinating character. But I have a couple other posters here from the episodes. This one's for The Lost Ones, a little rose petal, and I like the little animation design on that one. The Ninth Jedi, the Child of Hope, I like the little droid on her back there. The Song of Four Wings, and I actually started this one, and that little wampus on top of that droid there, what a badass character that was. I was so shocked when that thing started fucking fighting back. I was like, oh shit! He's almost like an Ewok, but he's way cooler. Speaking of Ewoks, they were in the Duel Payback episode too, and I was shocked by that. I was like, what? Ewoks? You never know when you're going to get an Ewok, but you're either terribly mad or you love it. So, I mean, I was kind of in the boat of I love it at the moment, you know. Love an Ewok. They're just so cute. They remind me of my teddy. In the last of the Star Wars posters I have is one for the episode titled The Smuggler, and this just reminds me of like almost like a roles reverse situation of like Han Solo in the Solo movie with him and Kira, but you know, and that pod she's in also kind of reminds me of like Luke's land speeder. But I don't know, I'm probably gonna go finish Star Wars Vision Season 3 Volume 3's episodes, but at the very least go check out Star Wars Visions, The Duel and The Duel Payback, just for that character there. And that might even be the poster of today's video, you know, like the thumbnail. And that guy is a beast. I fucking love that character of the Ronin. And like, if they come out with him as a Hot Toys figure, I'm gonna get him. But getting close to wrapping up today's show, we got Godzilla -1, the sequel, got announced recently with a little teaser just of like the title. And you know, this movie Godzilla -1 won Best Visual Effects, and the director is, well, the reason it won Best Visual Effects is because the writer and director is also a VFX artist. So you know, it just looked incredible. If you haven't seen Godzilla -1, I think it's on Netflix right now, and it's honestly the best Godzilla film I've seen in a long time. And it's not like the Hollywood Godzilla vs. Kong coming, you know, which is fun. It's entertaining. This is like a good movie that just happens to star Godzilla. You know what I mean? Like, and I absolutely loved that movie, Godzilla -1. And the sequel is going to be titled Godzilla -0. So that is in the works and coming, and I'm dying to see a trailer for this, and I hope that comes out in 2026 so I can feast my eyes all over again on Godzilla -0. But just to wrap up today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about games that could be releasing in 2026 from this graphic from Culture Crave. Shout out Culture Crave. But, you know, some of these are tentative, you can see down at the bottom, and some of them are just expected to be dropping this year. But starting in the top left, a game called Fable. Comment below if you know any more about these, but I'm going to run through and just shout out the ones that I'm most excited for. GTA 6, I think so many people are so excited for. The Wolverine video game, I have to play. I need to feast my eyes and play as Wolverine and slice people apart. There's an Invincible video game called Invincible Versus coming. I didn't know about that. That sounds sick. James Bond First Light 007 video game coming, I think March of 2026. I am ecstatic for that. The gameplay and the trailer for that game is already out and it looks incredible. There's a Halloween game coming where you play as Michael Myers, I believe. Pretty cool. Resident Evil Requiem is coming. Star Wars Zero Company. Wow, I haven't heard anything about that. A new Star Wars game. 1943, The Rise of Hydra, a Captain America and Black Panther game. That looks interesting as well. Halo Campaign Evolved is coming out. The new Lego Batman, and it's like all the years of Batman combined into one game, and you're going to be able to play the legacy of the Dark Knight Batman, Lego Batman. And like that game, I haven't played a Lego game in a long time. I'm fascinated to play Lego Batman. I don't know why, I have to. I just am like, I'm ready. Then it says a Nioh 3. Haven't heard of it. Mario Tennis Fever. Oh, so a tennis Mario game coming back? What, is that going to be on Wii? Like, Jesus Christ. High on Life 2? There's a game called High on Life. Do you just get stoned in the game? I mean, that's what I do outside of the game, but I don't know. Soros, I haven't heard of. Backyard Sports. Oh, what? Is this going to be like a backyard baseball untitled video game? I hope that comes out. Beast of Reincarnation. Ooh, that sounds cool. If that's a werewolf game, I will be so here for it. In the next game, The Blood of the Dawnwalker. If this is the game I think it is, I've seen a little bit of gameplay trailer. You're like a vampire and you have a certain amount of days to like complete your task, but your like energy levels change. So you either have to like go out at night and like drain the blood from somebody, or just drain a little bit, or drain all of it and kill them, you know, like, and it affects your gameplay. I haven't ever played a game as like a vampire. That sounds super cool and I definitely want to check it out. A new Gears of War E-Day game is coming. The Gears of War people have to love that. Scott Pilgrim X game. Interesting. Game of Thrones War for Westeros. A Game of Thrones game? Oh, if I get to play as somebody like Jon Snow, I'm in. Tok-On Fighting Souls. Interesting. The Duskbloods. Never heard of it. Forza Horizon 6. I do love a racing game, but Forza, I'm not really an Xbox guy, so Forza really has dropped off on me. But Gran Turismo has been pretty good on PlayStation. Paranormal Activity Threshold is expected to be coming next year, potentially. Pokemon Champions, Pokemon Gen 10 is also expected next year, so some Pokemon games for the people out there. I haven't played a Pokemon game since Game Boy. It's crazy. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake. I thought the Prince of Persia was a movie. There's a game called The Prince of Persia? Interesting. Directive 8020. Is that 6,000 years in the future? That could be interesting. I don't know. Code Veil 2, Toxic Commando, Phantom Blade, Mouse PI for Hire. Is that like Mickey Mouse as a private investigator? Fire Emblem, Ides of Annihilation, Yoshi. Interesting. So, I don't know a whole lot about all of the games on that list, but some of the games on that list I am dying to play, like Wolverine, 1943, Rise of Hydra, The First Light, James Bond game, the Lego Batman game, and GTA 6, of course. Like, if once GTA 6 comes out, and I know it's coming out for sure, and it's not going to get delayed again, I'm probably going to take like a couple weeks off of work. You know what I mean? Like, it just fucking just need to feast my eyes on that game and play it. Just like I can remember me from 2013 Christmas break and spending the entire 2 weeks of Christmas break playing the story and just loving every second of it and loving GTA 5 so much. And then GTA 5 Online, loving it all over again. You know, like, oh god, it's been so many years. It's been, what, at least 12 years? 13 by the time GTA 6 comes out, between GTA 5 and GTA 6. That's got to be the biggest gap between games ever. But just to end out today's show, talking about some IMAX 2026 slate that is expected, and that would be January, starting out with a movie called Mercy, and then in March, the movie from Maggie Gyllenhaal, The Bride. Interesting, I wouldn't have pictured that one as an IMAX movie, but maybe. The Ryan Gosling starring Project Hail Mary in March as well. The Super Mario Galaxy movie in April. A movie called Michael, also in April. Mortal Kombat 2, May 8th. May 22nd, The Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm definitely going to be seeing that. Maybe not in IMAX, but I'm seeing it. Toy Story 5, interesting. DC Studios' Supergirl coming in June 26th. I can't wait to see that as well. Millie Alcock as Supergirl. Can't wait. She looks so gorgeous in the just briefly shot scene in Superman. Now she gets a star in the whole movie as Supergirl. I'm in. Minions 3 for the kids out there, July 1st. Moana as well for the parents that want to bring their kids to those movies in July. You got 2 movies coming out from Illumination in what? Disney Pixar or something like that? Or Moana, that might be the live action Moana. So maybe. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey coming out July 17th. That's going to be a huge movie for IMAX. Flowervale Street coming out August 14th. Resident Evil September 18th. An untitled Tom Cruise movie October 2nd. Street Fighter October 16th. Sunrise on the Reaping, a Hunger Games newest film, which I think is more of like a prequel film, just like the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes that we saw recently. So I think they're going back and doing like a prequel movie, and I believe the Sunrise on the Reaping is going to follow like a younger Haymitch, which I think was Woody Harrelson's character from these Hunger Games movies. So I could be interested in that, but the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes with Rachel Zegler, I was not here for. That was awful. A new Narnia movie, which I think is directed by Greta Gerwig, is supposed to be coming to theaters November 26th. And then the 2 biggest movies of next year for me, Dune Part 3 and Avengers Doomsday, coming December 18th and December 18th. Dropping the same day. That might be the craziest double feature ever for me, or I'm just like, whichever one I have to pick first is going to truly break my heart. You know, like, I already at the moment, I want to see Dune 3 more, but I think it's going to come down to the trailers and just like, which one's going to be harder to see, which one's going to be, you know, more interesting to see immediately, you know, like, I'm going to see both of them, but like, I might have to see both of them December 18th and watch one at like 3 and then get out of that one and go into the next one at like 6 or something. Like, oh, because you know both of those are going to be damn near 3-hour movies. Like, that's going to be nuts. Oh, so crazy that we're getting an Avengers movie back in theaters, and this is just an IMAX expected slate. What you don't see on this list, also supposed to be coming, I think, in July of next year, Spider-Man Brand New Day, you know, so that's probably going to be on here somewhere. I don't know. There's probably quite a bit of other movies from 2026 that will be coming as well that aren't on that list, but that's just stuff that's expected for IMAX. But comment below from that list, or just from your own mind, what are you most anticipating for movies in 2026? What video games are you most anticipating for 2026? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below, or you can send them to me on my other social medias. Links for those down in the description below. But if you've made it this far in the video and you'd like to support the channel, commenting down below, liking this video, subscribing if you haven't already, and hitting that bell so you don't miss future Comically Boston podcasts and you get the notifications when the weekly nerdy news comes out. Once again, my name is Big Cam. Look for my face, 2 G's in the big, and you can find me. And once again, thank you guys so much, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace!